Welcome back to Risque Business News. I'm your host, Laura.
And I'm May, and today we're going to talk about White Lotus.
Yeah,
we're going to share our thoughts on the finale. I'm also going to be talking about a story of a restaurateur in Forest Hills, New York, who has a shitty time with business lately. So we'll talk about that. And then I'm also going to talk about a teacher that's found himself in some hot water over something that I think any sane person has done. I think we've both done it, so we'll talk about that. Ooh. It's not fucking kids. If that's what you're thinking.
Good. Thank God.
It's not banging 14-year-old students.
Teacher getting in trouble. Oh, no.
We haven't done that.
No, we have not. Okay, curious there. I also have some New York issues. Williamsburg, there's a bathhouse in Williamsburg, and it is in trouble right now.
I've heard.
We're going to talk about that. Yeah, it's really like, I don't know why. That's like a gripping story for New Yorkers right now.
Crazy.
So we'll talk about that. And then going back to White Lotus, I'm going to talk about some, a lot of people loved it. There's one organization that fucking hated it. Hated White Lotus
really
this season, and I'll go a little bit more into it and if they have a valid complaint or not. That's it.
Okay, enjoy.
Where's the money? I don't understand how you make money.
Hold on.
From that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm gonna ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.
You guys, White Lotus ended. What are we supposed to do with our time
I don't
now?
know. All my theories. Also, like, I feel like there were so many loose ends that I'm going to continue to consider.
There were so many loose ends. And also one thing, I think Mike White is brilliant, but I do think that he thinks that we're dumb or something.
Yeah.
Because they're like, I felt like the characters were so stupid. It's like, you mean to tell me that you were going to poison your entire family, and you don't even know how effective this is, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait, hold on real quick. If you're listening to this episode and you haven't watched the finale, just
what are you doing?
Probably stop.
Yeah.
Sorry, because spoiler alert. Like,
Very much
like
spoiler
officially,
alert.
I'm not gonna censor myself for you. Okay, how dare you ask? How dare you ask? But now you know. Just move it along.
But
no, that was immediately what I thought. Also, how about the fact that the rest of the family took sips of it and then was fine,
completely fine. But then also, I'm like, wouldn't you taste how gross it is and be discussing that? And thirdly,
just be like, this is the worst pina colada I've ever had in my life, and it's not close.
And I mean, they mean to tell us that a 5-star resort would have a bunch of poisonous fruit that
no, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense. It's a stupid plot line. It was
a stupid plot line.
Truly stupid.
And it was also like he thought that he was being so fucking clever out the gate. He's like, those fruits are poisonous.
Right.
Like, wink, wink.
Red herring.
Yeah, I know. And then later on, it's like, oh, it's crazy. Oh, the blender? Oh, you blended it?
Yeah. I thought that was so obvious. I was like, there's no way.
So the other thing that was so obvious, the fucking dad thing.
Which dad thing?
Where he was like, I am your father. Or like,
super obvious. Very cliche also.
Also, yeah.
Very cliche.
The American man went to go fuck a Thai lady.
Right.
And abandoned his family.
I meant like the plot line, like the guy who you thought was not your father is your father.
Yeah,
it's like Darth Vader. It's
yeah, exactly.
The plot line of
I know. I brought
Darth
it up to Matt like a few weeks ago, and he was like, "Oh, like fucking Star Wars." And I was like, "Yeah."
But also,
but simultaneously,
the white man going to Thailand,
American man leaving his American family and going to Thailand to fuck a, in this case, Thai celebrity. I guess pop off on that case.
Pop off. But I feel like there's a lot of like sex tourism for men would be Colombia and Thailand. For women, it's Italy and Jamaica.
Is it though? Yes, it is in the sense of I know women adore going to those places and like kind of peeping around. But are they banging for money?
I don't know about for money, but they're definitely getting laid if
That's
they can't
fair.
get laid in America.
That's fair, I guess.
If I've watched enough 90 Day Fiance.
Oh, okay.
Which I have.
Okay. Resident expert.
Oh, yes. So what are some of your theories? I'll start. So one of my theories was I thought, and this would have been super clever, if you noticed, the Ratliff family was the only family that it was like, you have to put your cell phones in these cases. Everyone else
what was up with that?
Everyone else just had their fucking cell phone.
There's so many like inconsistencies where I was like,
right. So I thought
I enjoyed it overall, but my brain just thought about these things.
No, it wasn't good enough for me. The other 2 seasons were so much more strong. But that plot line, I thought that Pam was working with the FBI.
I had considered that at some point too, that there was like a sting going on or whatever,
Right.
and they were going to show up. I thought the sting was going to happen, and then what was the guy with Belinda? The guy that was
Porn
blackmailing her or whatever.
Oh,
No,
Greg?
Greg.
Or Gary.
Gary. Whatever that, the character. I thought he was going to think the sting coming in for the Ratcliffes was for him, and that she had betrayed him after sending the money.
Yes.
And that would have been fucking lit.
That would have made sense too.
It would have made sense.
Yeah.
But instead, none of it.
I also thought
Instead, they were like, goodbye, we're on a boat now.
I also thought that the dad would have killed the entire family and then got his phone back from Pam, and he would have been cleared of the charges.
I thought he was going to kill Lachlan on accident.
Right.
He was the only one who would be okay being poor.
Yeah.
And then the same thing. Like,
Right.
he was going to be cleared and have just, like, murdered his only son who was definitely weird.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're gonna say only good son,
I was
know.
about to say that, and I was like, hold on. I did really enjoy the Piper arc of her just being like, yeah, I'm a materialistic bitch, and I feel bad about it, at least. That's
That
the
was
difference
fun.
with our generation.
Yeah.
We feel a little bad.
I actually loved, and I thought this was controversial. I thought a lot of people did not like the ending with the 3 women. I loved it because I think that is so realistic to have all these gripes and like triangulations in relationships with female friendships, and then have it all work out. And it's like we still love each other and we still have a long history. We're not going anywhere, even though we get on each other's nerves sometimes. I thought that was very cool.
We're building lore. Okay?
We're building lore.
Remember that Thai trip when you just hated Lori for no reason? Oh, yeah. I remember that. That was fun.
Oh, yeah. I wonder who's going to get awards from that. Probably
Lori, I think.
Lori.
What's her real name again?
Carrie Coon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, she did great.
Also, I was convinced that Mook was in on the robbing.
Why?
And she was just more boring than we ever would have thought.
She
That was the
flattest character I think I've seen in a show in a long time.
She was
and
the worst character ever.
I just watched Younger. Have you seen that show?
Oh my God, I've seen some of it. It's very bad.
It's the worst show. It has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
People love how bad the show. They're like, it's so bad, it's good.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I've been watching it as a result because it's like you can throw it on in the background and not have to fucking worry about it, folks.
Right.
It couldn't be lower stakes. It's this show about this 40-year-old woman who looks incredible and gets divorced and gets a job as a 26-year-old assistant at a publishing house.
Which, by the way, don't you need to make more money than that? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, she's making like $0, but she lives like with her lesbian friend in Brooklyn and like is 40, but also looks 26. So I'm like, I don't really want to hear it from you.
Well, it was just the worst show in the world. Like in terms of writing, in terms of the
Every
jokes,
part.
everything is so fucking bad, but everyone watches every episode. It's like Working Moms. That's
me right
another
now.
one.
It's me right now.
Terrible show. But I watched every single episode. I couldn't wait for the next season.
when I tell you, I like fell out of my chair when we looked it up on Rotten Tomatoes, and it had a 97%.
Yeah. It's very bad.
Excuse me.
It's very, very bad.
It was so funny. I'm like, this is quite the word. Go watch an episode and then watch the entire season. I'm on season 3 right now, so
Terrible. Also, I thought it was very strange. Like, this is how I think Mike White thinks we're dumb. Is I'm like, you mean to tell me that this whole family is now on this boat? There was a mass shooting where they just were staying, and they're not being like, that was fucking crazy. Do we know if everybody, like, they weren't talking about it?
No, there wasn't any like action.
And
They
there
were just
wasn't
like,
also
here's
any
your
talk-
phones. Good luck with that.
And there wasn't any talk about like, oh, those girls we met were crazy, or like, oh, that girl Chelsea who we fucking hung out with the entire time is now dead.
He is dead.
We're not
Also,
talking at
Saxon
all?
was obsessed with her.
Yeah.
The whole time, and then she's just dead.
And now he's like, oh, okay, I'm just going back to North Carolina. No, nothing else to say
Back to
about it.
Duke. Actually,
Just discuss it. Like, have it be more of a real show like that.
can I go ahead and do one of my stories then? Because this is the perfect segue.
Yes, last thing I'll say is that the son of Belinda, Zion, it was the worst actor in the show, and it actually brought me out of the show because he was so fucking bad at acting.
We kept saying that. He's unbelievably attractive. Go be a model.
He looks like an AI character.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
He does
AI
look
face.
like AI. Like Uncanny Valley.
Right.
Which is, I guess, a compliment. I don't know. He's very attractive. However, as an actor, I was like, what's happening?
He was the worst actor I've ever
I'm
seen.
getting an MBA. Like, okay.
Yeah. Mom, they could kill me too. Like, literally. I've seen better acting in our acting classes.
acting class.
Genuinely.
Yeah. Either of us could do that better.
It was terrible. Very, very terrible. So if he comes back for the next season, because it seems like she might be a reoccurring character.
I hope they like recast him or something.
No, yeah, he was so bad. He was so fucking bad. And everyone else was such a fucking rock star that it was
totally
crazy juxtaposition.
Yeah, it was very obvious. I will say I did appreciate Belinda ditching Porn Shy in the exact same way that Tanya ditched her.
Oh, yeah, but
I enjoyed that. Like, oh,
but
money
why?
changes.
I thought that, I was like pissed that she did
Oh,
that.
I was pissed she did it, but I enjoyed like the symbolism of how like
once you get the power and once you're on top,
exactly,
you're guilty of the exact same things that you accuse other people. Like I would never do that.
I was like, all right, I see you here. This is a nice symmetry.
That
Very
is
nice.
good. Yeah.
Well, okay, let me just tell you, obviously it was an enjoyable show overall. We were locked in, clearly. A group that really did not fucking enjoy this show this season was Duke University.
Oh, interesting.
They did not like it.
Yeah.
It was very clear through the entire season that Saxon and Timothy went to Duke. In fact, he wears the Duke shirt in some pretty intense scenes. It was brought up in the dialogue quite a bit. Piper went to UNC. UNC really got a pretty solid rap that they were like, oh, this girl's like overall great and trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
And then
she was obnoxious in her own way, though.
She was obnoxious in her own way, but she was like better than the others.
That's true. Yeah.
She was definitely better than the Duke folks over
That's
here.
True.
And so it was obvious that he went to Duke, and they talked about it for a while. Up until episode 6, it becomes a little bit too clear for them. There's that scene where he is wearing the Duke t-shirt, and he's holding the gun and considering whether he wants to shoot himself after committing massive money laundering, tax fraud, whatever the hell his financial crimes were. So after that episode came out, Duke was like, all right, we need to say something. Frank Tramble, the vice president for communications, marketing, and public affairs at Duke. This man, look at him. This man's like, I don't want to fucking deal with this. He sent an email.
It's a fictional show. I'd be like, who cares?
Yeah, well, he said in an email to the New York Times that the university did not approve of the use of its marks in the program. So the Duke logo. I mean, it was a pretty crazy ass scene. Remember this scene?
Yes, I do.
Where he's like, it's like a meme now. Apparently, Duke lost last weekend in the Final Four.
Oh, okay.
And people kept putting that meme. Mr. Tramble added that the show not only uses our brand without permission, but in our view, uses on imagery that is troubling, does not reflect our values or who we are, and simply goes too far. I will say it did go pretty far.
It did.
I will
yes
and them on that one.
That's true.
They didn't end up filing suit, but just wrote a letter to the New York Times. And then like a few episodes later, like he does even more stuff in the shirts. They were like, God. But they never ended up like actually going to court. Mm-hmm. The reason being that everyone was like, okay, but like, you're mad?
Yeah, right. Whatever.
There's no legal basis for this whatsoever. According to like trademark law, you can't like open a school and try to call yourself Duke University. Like if you and I were starting like a Kanye type school,
sure,
we couldn't call it Duke.
We can?
We cannot.
Oh, we cannot. Okay.
That would be a trademark infringement.
Right.
But using like just wearing a t-shirt of a well-known organization in your show that's just artistic First Amendment.
So I heard somewhere that the iPhone has a clause that no evil characters can own an iPhone. Is that true or is that just conjecture?
I actually have heard the same thing.
Yeah.
And maybe they just like pay or something.
Yeah, I really
There's
don't know.
certainly like, I am a little bit curious about this because you see like the product placement and they're very careful about it and they'll like turn the sodas away. But maybe that's because they don't want people to get credit or additional brand exposure without paying them.
Yeah. So then,
versus with Duke, they were like, well, they're not going to fucking pay for this.
Right. That's true.
This is quite the opposite.
Did you know, this is something that I feel like is not very well known, that the Duke lacrosse players were completely exonerated?
I did hear about that.
Yeah.
I did hear about that. Like, I never looked further into it. Was it one of those like gray area kind of situations?
No, it was not. So there was, basically they hired a stripper to come to their house and she said that they all raped her. And then she came out later and said she made it completely up. She's on record at like a podium being like, I literally made up the entire thing.
Wait, why?
I don't know, money, extortion, something like that. And then and then apparently the lacrosse coach got fired. So he's like, can I have my job back? And they were like, no, it's bad optics. And he was like, well, I didn't fucking do anything, and neither did those boys.
This fucking guy was just like, mm-mm.
Yeah. It was not a gray
Frank
area.
Tramble was like, no.
But it was not a gray area whatsoever. Like, they're completely exonerated. And it's still a punchline and will always be a punchline. So it's like, I feel like if you're a lacrosse player and you're going to Duke, you have to deal with that stigma, even though it
100%
shouldn't be a thing.
It's tough because it's now entered like the public perception, and like people like me, I'm not like, what are the Duke lacrosse players up to? I'm not looking it up. I just don't care.
Well, that's the thing about PR is like the first story wins. The second story that will exonerate people, or the second story that will make things more clear or whatever, that doesn't get any attention.
No, and
people just think the first thing.
It probably also won't get like even the eyeballs on it.
No,
even if people do see it, like they're not going to be like, oh yeah, I know about the Duke lacrosse players. Like I might have even seen another headline and like not really thought about it because I'm like, oh, Duke lacrosse, like that's still playing out crazy, and moved on. You know, I'm like, I know that story versus like a pretty significant update.
Right.
Man, PR is bullshit and also insanely powerful.
It really is.
You know?
I studied PR in college and it was really fun. We had a class called Crisis PR, and you would go in and you'd have to write a press release in like half an hour or something about like your client that fucked a bunch of people, or something crazy like that. It was really fun.
Oh, that is interesting.
I mean, there's not a lot of money in it and it's a very stressful job, but I think I'd be good at it.
I bet you would be good at it.
Yeah.
But also for what? Like, no money and it's stressful.
Just like if you really like drama.
Yeah. If you're just like being in the thick of things.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate gossip.
It really is the ultimate gossip. That's why I like true crime.
Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, Frank Tramble, he kind of fucked up with this one because I think we all know, like, oh, we went to Duke, like, haha, we all know like that brand of person.
Exactly.
And we got, like, it's fine. We're not, I know plenty of people who went to Duke are wonderful people.
Duke is a hard school to get into.
It's a very hard school to get into. It has, like most places that are large universities, good people, bad people, the kind of stereotypical person, and then wonderful people as well. But I will say him writing to the New York Times was literally probably the worst move, because now the story is Duke University is upset about how the fact that, did you notice that they're all like tax cheats and bad people?
Right.
In this show, versus otherwise we would have just been like, oh, crazy.
And I think like Lachlan deciding between Duke and I think, was it UNC?
UNC.
Duke and UNC, it was like good and evil.
Right.
In that, so,
Which is crazy because like UNC, I would have been like, it's probably similar.
Yeah, it's probably similarly terrible. I feel like that I could put that in the same bucket as Clemson, all those places.
Exactly.
Whatever.
But him making the choice to talk to the New York Times about this, that story got picked up by so many other publications because they now it's interesting to know that Duke is upset about it.
Yeah.
So there you go. PR management right there. Fail. F. You failed your class at Duke, Mr. Bramble.
Okay, so my next story is, speaking of big cities, in New York City, there is a restaurant destination that turned into a war zone after the MTA, which is famously the worst thing ever. It's our subway system, planted a porta potty outside of their front doors.
Oh no! Oh my god, that sucks.
I know.
And it's like it's probably, what is it, a small business?
Of course.
You're like, it's Nobu.
It's a mom and pop. It's a mom and pop.
God.
So at Forest Hills, which is out in Queens, restaurateur said that his business has gone down the toilet, if you will, since there was a construction project that plunked a stinky portable toilet outside of his eatery's front doors. Paul Singh says that he's lost his entire life savings after a monster fence cut his once flourishing White Radish and Daikon sushi bar storefronts off from view. And basically it's a project from the Long Island Railroad Station. And he's like, there's no end in sight. I've lost my mental peace. This has destroyed my lifestyle and put my family in a financial crisis.
Oh God. Oh my God.
That's sad.
These are the kind of stories that's like,
kill me.
Really cause me a lot of anxiety.
Look at this.
Is there not anything like...
This is like where he would have diners, and then there's this whole construction all around it.
I will say I would not eat there.
I would not eat there.
I hate to... I'm sorry, buddy. I want to come be like supportive, but like, no.
I can't eat there.
No.
And other people feel the same way.
Are there not rules about, having your business disrupted by the city's bullshit operations?
No, there's not. And so he's trying to say there should be something like that. And they won't even let him put a sign up. So basically it's like blocking the view from the street. So people looking for his businesses can't even see them. They have to like walk around. And there's literal porta potties right across from where people would be dining. So literally no one's going to eat there. Literally no one's going to eat there. So they're just
putting him out of business.
They're putting him out of business. And the MTA has put out a statement being like, we try to do these things as quickly as we can, but sometimes delays happen. And it's like, no, you need to pay this restaurant. It should be something that it's like, if you can't move it along quickly by X amount of date, you need to give some sort of stipend to this restaurant.
Yeah.
But it's not something that's happening right now.
I would agree. This is a really good opportunity for some of the mayoral candidates.
Yes.
To get involved, right?
That's true.
How that would be good. Like, go get in the mix.
Yeah.
Chat it up with them. Say, like, this is the kind of shit we're going to fix.
I
Getting
mean,
these porta potties off the streets.
It would be nice, but it's so sad.
Why don't we have restrooms in the subway?
Why the fuck don't we have that, by the way?
I would pay. I'll pay for that.
I mean, literally, I need to get a gym membership just to have fucking public restrooms.
It's insane. It's insane. Like, if you need to go to the restroom while you're walking around the city, I was shopping. I was like running some errands on Saturday, and we had to like multiple places looking for a restroom, like going into stores, like trying to like doing this fake where I'd pretend to be looking for something, like, oh, I'm gonna go browse, Matthew, I'll be right down here if you want to look for a bathroom or something.
Yeah,
pretend to buy something,
right? And
then he'd come down and be like, there's no fucking bathroom. We'd be like, oh my god, and we'd run out the door,
literally
go to the next spot.
It is
Nike,
the
Nike up on Fifth Avenue, they have a bathroom downstairs.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Now you know, folks.
I just go into restaurants like I own the place.
Yeah, restaurants is a good one.
Beeline. Don't make eye contact. Just go.
Just go. And then be like, oh, do you guys have Topo Chico? You don't? Oh, I was, all right. Oof. Oh, we'll come back another time.
Bummer.
Damn. Thanks so much. All right, bye.
Have you ever heard the Joe List joke about, friend of the pod, about Chipotle?
No.
And he's like, in New York, they have to have a code on the bathroom stalls because people try to move in there. If you don't have a code on these bathroom stalls.
Yeah, they're like, oh, an apartment just opened up.
Right. But he's like, I forgot that in other cities things are not insane. So he was like, I went up to some guy working Chipotle and he's like, what's the bathroom code? And he was like, poop is 2, pee is 1.
Joe is so funny. God, that's hilarious.
And he was like, oh, I realized that most people.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
How fucking funny is that? But it's crazy when you go to other cities and you can just walk in the bathroom at Chipotle.
Whenever you want.
You can just go in. You don't even have to ask for a code or anything.
You don't have to pretend to buy something.
Nothing.
There's no security.
Nope.
I would literally pay a good chunk of money on my taxes to just have all the subways have restrooms.
Agreed.
And
have them be
attended.
Maintained. Yeah.
Have an attendant.
Yeah.
Maybe the people who worked at these restaurants that you displaced, maybe they can work there.
Oh, God.
Temporarily.
How fucking sad is that, though?
It is sad.
He says that the businesses have bled an estimated $300,000.
Oh, no.
I can't see how that could be possibly true, but that is what they say.
Well, I'm sure the rent's pretty expensive, so it makes sense.
And he cut his full-time staff from 24 people to 14.
Oh, my God. Also,
I know, it's like a big deal.
Jesus Christ, this is a big restaurant.
Oh, I think that's pretty small. 24 people on payroll? That's nothing.
For a restaurant? How many people are back there?
Not that many, but that's rotating. Like, you're not working every single day.
Yeah, you're right. There's shifts. Mm-hmm. All right.
Anyway, good luck to them.
Man, I hope they get that figured out. Not looking good, though.
Not looking good.
Well, you know where else it's not looking good?
Where?
The bathhouse in Williamsburg.
Oh my God, is it not looking good for that?
Have you ever been there?
No, I actually wanted to go. It looked really nice when I walked by, and obviously I'm probably not going to go for a little while.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say after some of these videos, I'm like probably all set. For my birthday, I want to go to a bathhouse, but I want to go to Air Ancient Baths.
I've heard Air Ancient Baths is very nice.
I went there about 7 years ago and I had a delightful experience and I paid far too much money and I just looked it up and it is temporarily closed. God damn it.
Really?
That's what it says on the Google Maps.
Maybe they have an outbreak too.
I guess I'm getting sucked back into stupid bathhouse Williamsburg.
I guess so. Go to the Russian baths.
Maybe I'll go to the Russian baths. No, but I wanted like a very like a luxe experience for the birthday.
Well, God bless.
Well, we'll see. I've got a few weeks, folks, so stay tuned on that story. But the Williamsburg bathhouse, if you're not familiar, there's these if you're not familiar with what a bathhouse in general is, it's just a bunch of pools essentially and saunas and shit like that, and you can get massages. But as a result, there's a lot of steam and water in these buildings, and New York is not known for having, super clean, super brand new buildings as a whole.
Right.
So there's this location, I think it's like on Bedford Ave
Yes, I've
in
seen
Williamsburg. And they were going viral. There was a couple of videos on TikTok a little while ago that was former employees of the spa saying, oh, like it's really gross. Like it's not clean
Really?
there. Yes.
Ooh.
And they were like, you guys would never go there if you like knew about how like the cleaning goes and stuff like that. And that was one thing. And I get like if you're an employee and you're,
disgruntled.
Exactly.
Right.
Spreading bullshit online. But it got worse when they there was a person who went on Reddit who posted about how she had gotten a UTI there.
All right. Well, people get UTIs all the fucking time, I guess.
Yes. This was accompanied with a whole bunch of other videos. Let me show you one of these videos. This one made me like vomit. This is the person who said there is worms and had a video with the worms that you can see on the walls of the bathhouse.
What?
Do you see that?
No. I thought you meant worms out of their butt like a dog.
No. Sorry, unrelated to the UTI lady.
Ew.
Just wanted to show this before we go into
Ew, are those maggots? What are they?
Apparently they are, it said what kind of worm it was. Oh, God damn it. It's not a maggot, but it is not a great thing. And apparently it comes around. Oh, earwig bugs.
Yuck.
Terrible name.
Yeah,
Yikes.
I know about those earwig bugs.
Do you?
I do. I think I had them in my apartment in Boston.
What are they like? What?
They're like furry, right?
Oh.
Or no?
Well, I don't know. This video is too far away. We didn't get
okay.
his. Yeah, I can't zoom in enough on it.
They're like furry centipedes.
Gross.
And they're so disgusting.
Well, apparently they come around when there's too much moisture or humidity, and they're like getting trapped in the walls, and then they'll like come out from the walls.
Yes, they would come out with my brick.
Oh, well, there's videos of that. There's people that are employees that are talking about this. Then this poor lady goes on Reddit and she's like, hey, I got a UTI from the bathhouse, which out the gate, like, I agree with you.
You get UTI,
from anywhere. She said, I went to Williamsburg bathhouse last Sunday and got a terrible UTI within 48 hours. For context, I'm 30 and I've never had a UTI. I don't even know what it was until my girlfriend heard me describe the symptoms and told me. I'm sure that it came from bathhouse. The water just felt ick to me.
Yuck.
Especially that lukewarm pool. Maybe they aren't using enough chlorine or something. And then someone else replied and was like, oh my God, I'm grateful I didn't get one. I just was there as well. And then someone else was like, oh my God, I got a UTI. What are we going to do to cure? I was on an antibiotic, but every antibiotic has horrible side effects, blah, blah, blah. Immediately going to Reddit for their medical. But point being, there's now a thread online of people who are like freaking out about this UTI situation. And I do agree that probably they just wore their swimsuit too long or something like that. Like realistically, the chlorine in there, it's unlikely that they're actually getting one. However, Bathhouse decided to handle this in the worst way possible and sent them a cease and desist letter. So,
oh my God.
Like DM'd basically a cease and desist letter and said,
admitting their guilt, essentially.
They said, the likelihood that anyone developed a urinary tract infection from Bathhouse is virtually zero, since it operates a state-of-the-art system that exceeds the requirements of the NYC DOH. Moreover, other posts by you describe your sexual behaviors that, at a minimum, increase your likelihood of a UTI from sexual activity rather than from a visit to Bathhouse.
Shut up.
Why would you do this, Bathhouse?
Why would you fucking do this?
Why would you do? 2, now we've had the Duke people making the worst decision ever.
Yep.
Bathhouse making the worst decision ever.
Wow.
So they called her a slut. They were like, oh, you had a UTI because you're a whore. Williamsburg lady who came to our facilities.
Holy crap. That's unbelievable.
Isn't that wild?
Yes.
So she gets this letter, and then I actually saw it originally going viral on Reddit because I'm on a lot of the New York accounts, right? And everyone in New York was like, "Oh my God, what's going on here?" And she was asking for legal advice, and basically a bunch of the lawyers were telling her like, this is essentially a shady Instagram DM that they just printed on on letterhead. So you're fine. There's nothing. You don't have to take anything down. You don't have to be worried about it. She did end up taking down the original post though, but not before it was screenshot and put elsewhere. Too slow.
That is so fucking crazy. Oh my God.
Isn't that just like so gross in so many ways? Don't slut shame or just regular sex shame this lady.
Well, it's just like, and then it turned out to be nasty. The bathhouse. Yeah.
It has worms at the minimum.
I mean, obviously, like cease and desist. This woman is she's gonna bring that up on TikTok now. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Just let it go.
Let it go. Let the Reddit thread die. You know?
How many followers did she have on TikTok?
Well, actually, no, she was only on Reddit. I don't know.
Sorry.
There were other people doing it on TikTok. I don't know if they got cease and desist. Maybe the UTI, because it's like a medical thing. They felt like that was too much.
Yeah, maybe.
Versus it's difficult when you're showing videos of bugs.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. Like we're
Yikes.
in here and there's the bugs. So
one time at the Equinox, don't sue me, at Greenwich Street, there was a bunch of water bugs in front of me when I did a plank, and there was like literally a water bug, which looked like cockroaches, and it just like crawled in front of me. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Especially at Equinox where you're like $300 a month.
Exactly. I was like, I'm paying what to look at cockroaches, essentially?
It's like when I was at Soho House having my stupid membership, and I'm sitting at the bar, and Kaya's like, one of my friends is coming to meet me, and I'm sitting next to a bucket like that's just taking a drip from the ceiling.
Correct.
And I'm like, is this luxury? Is this what we're doing?
No. Soho House stinks.
They are the kings of that kind of shit.
They really are. I still have a membership there.
I mean, I'll go.
But
I'm gonna complain.
Oh, I'm gonna complain the whole time. It's like part of the fun.
I'll still go to bathhouse, but I'm gonna bitch.
Oh,
sure yeah. Another fun fact about the UTI bathhouse, which we'll now be calling it that, they are actually heated from Bitcoin mining.
What?
Did you know this?
No.
So they run, I guess, like a server farm essentially, where they're
what?
Yeah. So they're running trying to mine Bitcoin, and it takes there's a lot of energy, a lot of heat in order to do that. And the side effect of that is the servers heat the baths.
Apparently not well enough.
Not well enough. They don't clean the baths.
No, they do not clean the baths.
Warm
wow,
them up.
that is the most insane thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's pretty New York, isn't it?
It's very New York. That's insane. What do you think about, we wanted to talk about this a little bit on the pod about how we're all going to be poor soon.
Oh, we're all poor now.
We're all poor now. So,
guys,
what do you think
we're recording this on Monday after the third day of us being poor in a row with the markets open.
So, do we think that crypto is going to be the most, ironically, like the most stable currency or no?
No, I don't. I mean, maybe. I don't think it's going to go away. Like, I think it's going to continue to be an element of the mix. But realistically, the only reason people care about your currency as a country is because of your value as a country behind it.
Right.
And Bitcoin inherently doesn't have that. It does have like this ledger, but there is a trade amount of it. I think it's going to continue to be important to a degree. Mm-hmm. But like people care about the United States coins or dollar because we have such big arms in the other groups trade, like clearly with these tariffs, it's become obvious. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately the economy behind the United States dollar makes people feel confident in its stability.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Versus like some of the countries where they have maybe one major export and it's like a really, really shady government and that destabilizes it. Now on the flip side, we could absolutely have that kind of a situation where maybe the US dollar gets destabilized and no one wants that anymore and it goes to like the ruble or some shit.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I do think you're going to need a government backing a group of currency because it's also like the military power behind it. You know, there's something there.
Yeah. Right.
It used to be gold anchored. Now I think it's like society anchored. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. Well, actually, I did study economics, but that was more of like a bit, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't personally think so. Maybe I'm fucking wrong, and I'm still buying Bitcoin because it's going up and down.
Yeah, sure.
But I don't think it's going to be the only thing.
Of course not the only thing.
What do you think?
But I really don't know. I have no fucking idea. I did not study economics. And I should get better at this, but I'm not very good at
it's
at
fine.
money.
I mean,
stuff.
honestly, the people who do study it have no idea as well. Not just me, like
right.
experts. Like everybody's winging it is the reality.
That's the thing is that you have like, a whatever, like a financial advisor. I don't
Who's
fucking
winging
know.
it? That
no
person
idea.
is like, I'm charging a fee every year and I'm hoping they don't notice.
Yeah, literally.
Literally. And then you're like, okay, well, what is the fee plus your returns? And they're like, less than the market. And you're like, okay, well,
All right, well,
what was the fucking point of this exercise? And they say, shh, stop asking questions.
I'm on vacation.
I know so many people
I'm going to vacation with my family.
Yeah, bye. Money laundering from Duke. I know so many people who I went to school or whatever with who became financial analysts. And that was when I became really disenchanted with that entire group. I was like,
Yep.
oh no.
Anyone I know that's been to medical school is like, if you think doctors are smart, you are mistaken.
Correct.
They're like, doctors just are people that can afford and or have the gumption to go through this quantity of education.
Yep.
And duration of education. They were like, they're not smarter than regular people. They're not gods like they want you to believe.
I believe absolutely. And I think that's probably most professions. There's obviously people who are good in each one of these professions, but like lawyers, a lot of them are terrible.
Yes.
Politicians.
Oh yeah, you can be
Up,
anybody.
which I think we can all agree at this point. Trump started talking about tariffs a year ago ish.
Yeah.
Didn't know what it was. Got caught in a lie. And
committed to it.
Committed to the lie. And here we are. And he still isn't 100% sure. And he's caused a lot of problems. And I think he's starting to get a little worried. He's like, oh no.
I mean, listen, politics are crazy on either side of the equation. You can be Arnold Schwarzenegger and have starred in many movies and then become governor of California, literally. Yep. You can be a random bartender and be one of the more vocal voices. You can marry your brother. And
you just get in there. Yeah, we could get in there.
We could get in there. Anybody could get in there. You could be a comedian. We know a comedian running for mayor.
The Ukrainian
president is a comedian. By the way, have you seen his comedy?
No.
Oh my God,
is it bad?
Well, it's not stand up. I thought he was stand up. It's not stand up.
My God, is he doing like clowning or something?
He does dances in these like drag outfits with like crazy heels on. And it's not my humor, but it is weird as fuck that he's their president.
He's so artsy.
Yeah, he's like super alt.
He's like the most alt comic in Brooklyn, like running for president and winning, and we're like,
and then heading up some war efforts, like serious wars. It's ridiculous.
That's wild.
Yeah,
I did not know that. I assumed it was just like some like probably outdated jokes from the 80s.
That's
or whatever,
what I thought.
Like stand up, and I'd be like, it's a little inappropriate, but like,
no,
it was a different time.
It's a lot of latex outfits and high heels. It's very weird. Yeah. I did not know that. And then I looked it up and I was like, wait a damn minute. I looked it up after they had that really tense, strange
weird
interaction.
Fight.
Yeah, that weird fight that came and went. The fact that there's so many things going on in politics right now, that there was that aired on television and it's like, whatever. Like we've all blown over from that.
Anymore. Now everyone's mad at, well, obviously he's causing major, major issues. Guys, by this time next week, I feel like the entire world could be completely different.
God.
I'm like, seriously, it's like so fucked right now.
Yeah.
But
well, I guess
that's not
we'll
what this
figure
podcast is about. We'll be needing to start a Patreon soon, I'll tell you.
So speaking of things that this podcast is about, it's about petty crime.
Petty crime and drama that's like low impact.
Right. Speaking of, this is the lowest impact, stupidest fucking crime ever.
Perfect story for us.
A Florida middle school principal said he did something dumb after he was arrested at Walmart for trying a shoplifting tactic that he heard worked from his friends, I guess. So basically
his friends are his students.
Yeah, I know. So basically he was doing something called skip scanning. So he would do like a really cheap item that was heavy and scan it and then take out, shrimp or whatever. So so he would pocket the shrimp and then scan the cheap item that weighed the same as the shrimp and put it on the, which I feel like everyone has done. If you're doing self-checkout, obviously you're skipping some of those.
Oh, I guess I've definitely done the one where I put in the wrong produce.
Yeah.
That one's a key.
I've never bought organic in my entire
Never
life.
once in my life have I purchased an organic item.
Never once.
I've consumed them.
Yeah. Riddle me that.
But that's not your business, Whole Foods Market.
But and there's like a whole article about this. I'm like, why do we?
So he's in trouble, and like we know he's a. Why is there an article? That's insane.
Exactly. So he stole a pack of light bulbs, bacon, and butterfly shrimp, totaling $37.45.
No.
Yeah.
There's an article about this,
and there's an article about it. And
who cares?
I don't know. I don't
handle
know.
that locally.
I guess we need to know. But he got taken down to jail. He was
he's black. That's why.
But he got taken down to jail.
This is the problem. If he was white, it would have been fine.
I mean, I think it should be fine no matter what.
It should be fine no matter what.
Insane.
Well, actually, it's probably not. It should be either bad for everybody or
right. But anyway, yeah.
God,
so
this poor guy.
People were like, well, you know, if he's like a pillar in the community. I'm like, nobody knows who the fuck a middle school teacher is.
I'm sure he's got his students, and maybe he does a good job as long as he's not diddling them.
Yeah, right.
Let's pay for those shrimp and keep it moving.
So
also, what grocery store was this petty?
Walmart.
Oh.
Which also,
so
come on, Walmart.
First of all, and then also, have you heard about like how they'll film you and wait for it to get over a certain amount?
No.
And then they'll like charge you when it's over like $1,000 total or whatever, and they have the evidence. No. That might just be a rumor started by Target.
Okay.
But I believe it.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Where they'll like, they don't want to charge, because for $37, I can't believe they even took them in.
That's what I'm saying.
What city was this in?
I can't. Florida, somewhere in Florida. Then the other thing is that last year, so they compared it to a principal in Japan who was fired for being busted for doing some weird self-service coffee machine at a convenience store, and he poured himself a large coffee, but he was only paying for a regular size coffee.
Well, in Japan, that's like punishable by death.
And well, get this.
They take that shit so serious.
Get this. The store clerk noticed, stopped the man, called the police, and then they fired him and they took away his retirement pay, which was estimated to be about $133,000.
Over 25 cents.
Yeah.
No. Japan needs to cool it.
Isn't that fucking
Japan
insane?
needs to absolutely relax.
But they were like, he was not honorable when he got a large coffee instead of a medium.
I honestly, those cups are pretty similar in size. I straight up would be like, I don't know.
Well, sometimes even they do like the test where they pour it into different cups and it's like basically the same amount of liquid.
Yeah. I just like a bigger cup. I like some more room for cream. How about that? That is wild.
Isn't that
Wait,
crazy?
that's so metal. God, why do they always take it to 11 over there?
They really do. They really do.
This poor guy, at least he got some butterfly shrimp out of it.
Well, they got it taken away from him, the butterfly shrimp.
God damn it.
Also, I'm like, how about this? Why don't we just pay our educators
so that they can afford
some shrimp every once in a while?
On
they can afford to
occasion.
go into Walmart and purchase a bunch of frozen shrimp. How about that?
That would be nice if we could actually.
That would be nice.
It's Florida. I'm sure they're paid he's paying actually to be an educator.
He's paying them.
He's paying them. They're like, oh, that's so funny. You thought you were going to get paid. It's actually not a salary position.
Right. I thought you were volunteering, actually, to do this.
Yeah.
How fucking nutty is that?
That is wild. Poor guy.
I know.
Though actually now I'm way distracted by that Japanese man.
Like, the Japanese man is who I'm referring to when I say poor guy.
Oh yeah, but I feel bad for him too. I feel bad for everybody involved. Minus that Walmart clerk who needs to chill the fuck out.
Okay, if you work a retail job like that and you see stealing happening, no, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you fucking didn't. Like, what? They're not gonna fire you. Like,
who cares?
You'd be like, I didn't know.
That's wild.
By the way, they're gonna fire you anyway because AI is gonna do all that shit. So you might as well just live it up
at the self checkout. They already you're already barely there.
Right. By the way, the self checkout at Stop and Shop pisses me the fuck off. I have never once successfully gone through there.
It is really tough
without needing someone to.
It is difficult
to beep and do like the correction. It pisses me off so much.
Yeah,
oh my
no,
God.
that's tough. The Whole Foods just introduced self-checkout, and I really want to support, obviously, human beings and jobs, minus at Whole Foods self-checkout.
Yeah.
It is so much better now. It is so much faster.
It used to be so slow.
It used to take you like 20 minutes to check out of that Whole Foods.
And
now it's instant. Like you
The
just
Whole
walk right up.
Foods- The Whole Foods that we go to has no fucking service.
I know.
So I'm like, what am I supposed to do? Not text my friends in this line? I'm supposed to sit here with
20
my
minutes
thoughts?
of just looking at like the weird gum that
Oh
they
my
have.
God. And every
Sugar-free gum. You're like,
every magazine is like, Taylor Swift did what? Why is Taylor Swift on every
I don't
magazine
know.
cover?
I don't know. It's all like small books about Taylor Swift.
Yes, and it's like magazines where she's on the cover, or it's literally like Taylor Swift magazine, which I didn't even think was the thing. It's like, this is a magazine dedicated to Taylor Swift.
It's crazy. This is a Whole Foods. This is like,
right.
They must be selling so many of these that's turning a profit.
It's like, this is the outfit she wore to Carbone. This is the outfit she wore. Like,
literally.
Yeah, truly.
Speaking of which, did you know that Mook, the character in White Lotus, bringing this back full circle, folks,
Yes.
is from Blackpink?
What's Blackpink?
Blackpink is like the biggest K-pop band of all time.
Right.
So she's
I knew she was
essentially
big.
Asian Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Like she's like, someone described her as Taylor Swift mixed with Princess Diana.
Well,
over
thank
there.
God she's good at something, because she brought nothing. She gave us nothing.
She gave us nothing. She, to be fair, had zero character arc to deal with.
Zero.
They were like,
yeah, it's
just
not really her fault.
kind of hang out. Just be there.
Do you
Apparently
think that
they had
wanted they wanted people in Asia to watch it or something?
I mean, nailed it. There's no way they didn't watch it.
Yeah.
But apparently they had to hire a bunch of additional security because of her.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of the cast was famous too, but
Yeah.
she was
Very.
far and away the most famous.
Oh yeah. They're not that famous either. Like Walton Goggins is not
That's true.
famous before this show. I mean, he's famous, but not like
People would like maybe recognize him from some of his
Right.
other roles, but not.
right.
No one. I'm not gonna be like,
I saw
oh my god.
an interview on TikTok where Carrie Coon was saying that because she looks like she's kind of like Chappell Roan in the sense that she could just walk down the street and people are like, oh, it kind of looks like whatever. And she was like, I've been on flights where people are watching me in a show and I'm sitting next to them and they truly have no idea it's me. Isn't that crazy?
She's great.
Yeah, she's cool. Great bod too.
Oh my god, all of
Surprised
them.
me in that scene. All of them have amazing bods.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They did not eat much while they were there.
Nobody's eating.
No.
That's what I'm
Eating
learning.
is apparently out. Thank God, because with the tariffs, we can't afford it. Great time to be on a diet.
Yeah. Oh god. I hate dieting.
I know, it's the worst.
All right. Well, anyway, enjoy your
Yeah, perfect.
dinner. I'm gonna eat dinner after this. I've been thinking about what kind of taco I want.
Ooh, chicken.
We'll find out. Anyway, so like and subscribe on Risque Business News on YouTube. Please do that. That would be great. Tell your friends. Write us a review. That'd be awesome. Write us a comment if you want. Follow me at May_Planert. I do shows locally in New York right now.
Follow me at Laura Zogar. I am mostly going to be here in New York for the next like month and a half or so because got the wedding coming up.
Hell yeah.
And then, yeah, we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
I don't understand how you make money
Hold
from
on.
that, though.
2 stand-up comics in New York City.
Just learned a lot of this stuff. I'm going to ask all the stupid questions that you might be thinking at home, but are afraid to ask people.
Making it to where you feel like you're too stupid to be able to ever engage in it, they win.
Why the fuck are they doing this?
It's to make money. It's Risque Business News.